Hello, wonderful people of the internet. Thank you for subscribing to my channel and checking it out. I really appreciate you just checking out my little corner of the internet. So today, we have a vast variety of plants that I need to repot, and I have been watching a lot of videos recently called Repot and Chat, where basically people just are repotting their plants and talking about themselves and talking about things going on in their life. A few people that I really enjoy watching, especially like these kinds of content, is Harley G and Wild Fern. If I figure out how, I will try to link their channels down below. If not, please just search their names and you'll find them. I really enjoy, especially Wild Fern. She did a Repot and Chat recently. And for me, it's just a good way to unwind before I go to bed because I have ADHD. I'm always thinking. So if you're just looking for a good way to unwind and listen to someone just talk about their life, this might be the video for you. I'll talk about my plans. I plan on talking about myself, what I enjoy doing, my goals for the future. Yeah. I probably won't talk about a lot of people in my life just because I'm not sure if they want, even though my channel is very small, I'm not sure if they want me to be talking about them on the internet. So I'm going to respect their privacy and not mention them until I know for sure if they want to be talked about or not. But yeah, so I'm just going to get right into it, and we're going to start off with my monsteras, and they're not looking the best, especially this one. This is a new leaf that grew, and look at how wonky it is. I don't know how I feel about it. This is my favorite one, but he just decided to grow leaning. He does need to be watered, but I figured once I repot them all together, I would do that then. And then this one, I made a mistake because I tied it with string because this one didn't have a lot of root structure when I repotted it. So I just put some string in there, but I realized that was probably a mistake and I don't have any scissors in here. So yeah, I'll actually have to cut and get some more scissors. So be back in a second. Woo! Okay, I am back. With the scissors. Yeah, and no, this is not a planned scissors. This is literally the scissors that I used to cut my hair. So I guess we'll start with that. I cut my hair recently. You can't really tell in the front because I have the bangs long, but I did. I cut my hair in the back. It's like actually super short. And I can't remember the last time I went to a salon. I just, one time like during quarantine was like, I'm gonna cut my own hair. That sounds really fun. I'm gonna do it. And so I did it, and oh my gosh, I recommend it highly. I just tie my hair in a bunch of braids in like layers and then cut the ends off of all the braids, and it turns out looking totally fine. So yeah, it's not even difficult, honestly. But alright, so I have a big pot that I plan on having all of these bad boys go into. I also have some indoor plant food and yeah, I went plant shopping again recently and got some new plants that aren't in my plant haul video because I was like 2 plant hauls and like within a month. That's just a bit excessive. People are gonna think I have a problem. So yeah. But yeah, hold on. I'm gonna make sure there's no lumps in the dirt. The one thing I'm worried about is hopefully I have enough dirt. I have 2 bags, and you know how like a lot of plant people will like mix their soil into something special? Yeah, I don't do that, and I just hope for the best. So let's hope for the best. Whew. There we go. That should be enough to start off. And I also have, okay, so these are my favorite thing ever. My mom told me about them. They're called Job's Spikes. And it's like really epic. The only thing is when you're repotting a plant, they look like worms. Like there's a chopped up worm in your plant if they're still in there. So It was funny, my mom was repotting one of her plants and it came out and it was really funny because she's like, oh my gosh, what is that? I'm like, I think that's a Job spike. And she's like, oh, I hope so. But that happened to me when I repotted my Marble Queen pothos, so. It probably was just a Job spike, probably. But next, I'm gonna just reuse the soil because honestly, why not? But I do want to get to the roots to see how they're doing because some of these guys didn't have a lot of roots going on for them when I first put them in here, so we can take a look at them together. Ooh, it's pretty dry, so yeah, definitely needed water. I'll give them a good soak. Anyway, I'm gonna start talking about myself. So, my name's Dana. I am 19 years old and I am in college. Don't worry, I'm a college student. I am currently working 2.5 jobs. I say 2.5 because one of them is not really a job, more of a passion project. So what I do for a living is I'm a nutrition coach and I work at a nutrition club and I sell shakes and teas that help you like with keeping the correct amount of nutrients in your diet. And I didn't do this because I thought I needed to lose weight or anything, but a lot of people do it to lose weight. I did it because I'm a really picky eater and all of their stuff, like everything I've ever had there tasted so good. So I buy a bunch of products for myself to enjoy, and it's nice because I can honestly say that since I've started doing that, I have had so much more energy and just have felt better, felt more motivated to do things, and it's just been really nice. Then my other job, I work at a fitness center, and I think they go really well together, like they work kind of hand in hand, so that's pretty cool. There we go. I definitely enjoy working at the nutrition club more than the fitness center, just because at the fitness center it's mostly just like an office desk job sort of thing, and anyone who knows me knows that I suck at sitting around doing nothing. So this is kind of a difficult job for me, and it involves a lot of like computer knowledge. And my younger brother, I have one brother, and his channel is actually linked in my channel. We help each other out that way, even though our YouTube content is by no means similar at all. But if you want, you can go check it out. He does more gaming stuff, and I think it's pretty cool. But he's the computer guy. He built my PC actually, and he built his own PC. So he really knows what he's doing on that end. And he tried explaining to me. He made it sound so simple, but at the same time, I didn't understand a word he was saying. So computers is really not for me, and I just am not good with that, and I feel bad because all the other employees are super understanding, and I explained right away, I'm like, I'm probably gonna mess up a lot, but I just feel bad that I'm not as well equipped when it comes to like computers as them. But it's a nice job regardless, and that's when I do a lot of my college, because the days that I work are really not busy there, and you know, when no one is there doing anything, there's only so much I can do, and I have to stay there, you know, so I work on college then, and I get most of my college done then, so I don't have to do it while I'm at home. And then my half job, I help people train their horses, and it's a half job because, so I've been working with horses at this place since I was 6 or 7, and the lady trusts me enough that she has me working on having 2 of her horses be ridden, and in the future another one. It's just right now I'm doing orthopedic work with it. Unfortunately, since they're not my horses and it's not my place, I am not comfortable showing you them in videos or anything like that, out of respect to the people who own it. But I also help other people who take lessons there. When they're gone, I take care of their horses, feed them, clean up after them. and give them medicine and stuff. So that's why it's a half job, because basically, you know, most of the time it's just me doing things for funsies, but every now and then I get a little side money. But honestly, I enjoy it, and I always tell them, I'm like, I do it for free. Like, you don't have to pay me anything, but they're obviously like, no, that's not right. But it doesn't matter to me how much I'm actually making there, because I just enjoy being with animals in general. But yeah, so those are my jobs. Other hobbies that I have include, I love writing, as I had mentioned in the past. I'm working on a webtoon, so I'm writing out like the layout. Then I draw every single panel, like sketch it out in a notebook. And then I actually just started doing it digitally, but I hate the way it looks, so I'm restarting. So in the future, I'll have a webtoon that I plan on uploading and posting, but it's just, I don't want it to turn into a job for me, so I'm doing it very much at my own pace, because I don't want to end up hating drawing, because I really like doing art and stuff, and I want to keep it that way. I also love training dogs. Even though Gunner's my first dog that has been like my pet, I have worked with multiple dogs and dog sat for multiple people, so I do have a lot of experience with dogs. And we had a husky who I would say was pretty child aggressive, and because when she was a puppy she was abused by kids, so when I came around she didn't like me, and I like wasn't one of those stupid kids who like would be surprised when dogs bit me. Like, I knew I deserved it, but like my idea was, I'm like, eventually maybe she'll like stop hating me and dislike me, and then it'll be like best friends and it'll be epic. But yeah, that's why I don't really trust kids around my dog, because I know how I was as a kid, and yeah, most people aren't as understanding as me and my family when it comes to like dog nipping and stuff, and Gunner isn't like the most confident around kids just because there's no kids in my house, and I don't go, oh my gosh, do you want to pet my dog, random kid? Because no, he's my dog. I get jealous of when other people pet my dog because he's mine. But anyway, so I have Gunner, and then my brother, so when we got our animals, my brother, he wanted a cat, I wanted a dog. So we have a cat, but like, he's my brother's cat, not my cat, obviously. And we have Gunner, and then we plan on moving. We're very much in the process of moving. That's why this room is kind of funky. If you are looking at the background and all, you'll see a bunch of random stuff. And that's because we're in the process of moving. And I'm really excited, even though I've lived right in this house that I'm filming in for pretty much my entire life. And yeah, I'm not very good at change, but I realized I've come to terms with the fact that change is good. And I'm really looking forward to this change, because I feel like I'll be able to put out a lot more like varieties of videos for you guys in the future. And it'll just be better for me, because though I, in my free time, enjoy making videos of me talking to people on the internet that I don't even know, I'm actually very introverted. I don't like having people over at my house, really. I don't go out of my way to talk to people unless I'm at my job. Then obviously, you know, because it's my job, I'll do that. But for the most part, I just kind of keep to myself, mind my own business, and I'm okay with that. I find peace in solitude. With the exception of like my family and like people I'm comfortable with, like my boyfriend. I have a boyfriend, but he's one of the people I will not be talking much about him, because I don't know if he wants me to talk to you guys about him, but we're very happy and he's a wonderful human being and I love him very much. But anyway, That's all I'll say about him. But like, I have friends obviously, but if I don't talk to them for a couple of days, they get it because I just prefer not to talk. Especially, I hate texting. That's why sometimes it takes me so long to reply to your guys' comments, because I like allot a day where I'm like, all right, this is where I'll do this. So it doesn't turn into a job, you know? It's not like I have to feel like, oh, I have to reply, because that's not right. I appreciate you guys, but I just don't want it to turn into a job, you know? And I want to keep on doing YouTube, and I just want to keep on loving doing YouTube. Let's see. Yeah, so other hobbies of mine include photography, though I haven't done a lot of it recently because wintertime is cold. It's really cold here, and even though I live in Wisconsin and I've lived in Wisconsin my entire life, I'm just not the most equipped for the cold. Not really a fan, not a fan. You can say that with all honesty, not a fan. But yes, I am looking forward to being able to do things outside. My favorite seasons in Wisconsin have to be spring and fall though, because summer, bugs. I'm not a fan of bugs either. But I really, really enjoy spring and fall because that's my favorite outfit weather, where I can still wear like long sleeve shirts, but also, and like long pants, because those are like my favorite types of fashion. I don't really have a fashion sense, obviously, actually, so yeah. But I really enjoy wearing like long sleeves and like leggings. Those are my favorite things to wear. And I'm just really looking forward to being able to wear these. And I also like wearing hats. During the summertime, it's too hot, you can't wear hats. And I like wearing hats. But yeah. Alright, next I'm gonna repot my spider plant. I don't know what happened. I repotted it, but I didn't break up the dirt very well. So it just started sliding out. So that's funny. But yeah. Oh, well, look at some roots did form out of it, but yeah. Yeah. It's pretty bad. I am ashamed of myself in this one. But yeah. All I'm gonna do, I think, is just put this dirt here. Because it's good dirt, I just didn't do it right. I was dumb. I pulled a dumb moment. I'm by no means a plant expert, I just am doing my best. But yeah. So anyway, let's do that. Oh my gosh, it doesn't smell good. I don't like the smell of dirt. But yes. Just put this all back in there right away. Oops. There. Okay. So that was an easy repot. I'm trying to think, what else should I talk about? Oh, goals for the future. Goals for the future. Okay. So, in the future, I don't know what I want to do for like a full-time job. In all honesty, for the I had my heart set for the longest time that I was going to be a veterinarian because I love animals. But then I came to the realization that being a vet is a lot of schooling for not a lot of income. And so many people as vets get like really done dirty by other people. Oops. And it's just kind of a sketch job to have. So because of that, I decided not to be a vet. And then my next thing would be like working for a behavioral analysis unit, but then I realized I'd have to move to a very big city to do so, and at the same time still wouldn't be able to have any animals of my own because I'd be putting all my time and effort into my job, which I don't want to do. But So because of that, the two things that I was interested in kind of had to like get thrown out the window because I have other priorities as well, which is animals. Animals are very much a top priority of mine, and I need to just have animals in my life constantly. That is something I know like has to be a thing forever. Animals are very important to me. But yes, so because of that, still trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. And yeah, it gets kind of stressful that so many people know what they want to do and they have all these goals and plans, and then there's me. But I know that it's also a normal thing and I shouldn't really dwell on it too much because everyone has it at some point where they just are trying to find their purpose, you know? But it's just a little scary for me. And also I'm not the best with changes like I had mentioned earlier. Change, though it is good, is very scary. So it's still a work in progress for me, figuring out what I want to do with my life. But I'm thinking of being a teacher, but I only want to do online teaching. And with COVID, you know, there will probably be a bigger demand for that. It's just, I don't know how one becomes an online teacher, if that makes sense. I don't know, like, how to do it. And I'm still not sure if that's what I want for me. So we'll see. It would be really epic if I could do YouTube full-time. You know how baller that would be? That would be so baller. But I need to think realistically, and as of right now, that's just not an option, obviously. Because I only have like 60 subscribers, and don't get me wrong, I appreciate all of you. And I'm not even sure if I want YouTube to be my full-time job either, because the reason why I like YouTube is because I'm doing it for fun. And I'm afraid that if it turns into where I have to do it to make money, I'm like, what if I hate it, you know? But yeah, I want to have something where I can still pursue hobbies in my life and maybe make money off of the hobbies. Like I want to be able to compete with my dogs in the future and have actual time to be able to do so. And I want to like train dogs in the future and have time to actually do so. And if it's a true online class where there's no scheduled meeting time, that means I can grade things and do all of that important stuff later in the day, which is perfect because I don't sleep like ever. So I'll have plenty of time to do that. But yeah. All right, so this next one, I'm very fine with the pot that it's in, but it just does not have the right drainage. So unfortunately, this dirt has to go. Oh my God. Look at how many, this is what I'm talking about. Look at how many green dots are in here. It's not getting any water. Okay, all right. That scared me. Okay, let's try that again, but over this. Wow. Alright, so luckily I don't need this big pot for anything, so this will be where all my throwaway soil is. But yeah, its roots are looking good. It's just so dry because all of these dots are just making it impossible for this poor plant to get anything. But yes. Anyway, what else should I talk about? I'm honestly, I don't know, I'm not very good at talking about myself, especially since my things I talk about the most are Gunner, but you guys know a lot about Gunner. You see him, and I also want to do a video specifically on talking about like funny things Gunner did and stuff, so I don't want to spoil that right now. This is a plant video. Oh, well, I guess I can talk about how I got into plants and stuff. So I'll do that. So, let me think. It was around the time, so this is gonna start off kind of sad, but you guys gotta bear with me, okay? So I have no more grandparents because my parents are older and they had me when they were older, and my grandparents were older when they had my parents. So because of that, I didn't meet any of my grandpas. And one of my grandmas died when I was around 7 years old, and my other grandma, she died right before final exams of my junior year, which was really, upsetting. But when she passed away, she had this one zebra Harworthia, which I unfortunately lost recently in the springtime, because it was all my fault. I lost, not this springtime, last spring, summertime, because it was just in too small of a pot, and I was trying to hold off until it got a little bit warmer. But because of that, the plant unfortunately passed away. So I plan on getting a new zebra Harworthia, and I want to use the same pot that my grandma had the zebra Harworthia in. But I'm just looking, because the only zebra Harworthias I see are at Lowe's, and or on Home Depot, and they almost always have like a disease. Like, you can just tell. So I'm like, no. I'm not gonna go on my way to get diseased plants, But anyway, so that was my first plant that I got, and I genuinely wasn't into plants. Like, I wasn't that interested in them. Like, they weren't my jam yet, but it was chilling. I was keeping it alive. And then Jenna Marbles came out with a plant tour video, and I saw how cool plants could be. I made a huge list of all the plants that I wanted, and honestly, if I look back at it, I changed my mind on like a lot of the plants, because I learned more about them and went, no. I honestly should make a video on it, because I still have the list somewhere. I just need to find it. But anyway, after I saw Jenna Marble's video, I was so interested in plants, and I was like, oh my goodness, plants are so cool, and I got obsessed, which is an ADHD thing, by the way. You get obsessed with stuff, you're interested, and then you're like, oh my gosh, this is all I can think about right now. That was me. But anyway, so I, at that time, wanted more and more plants, but I just didn't, I don't know. I was in school and I was really busy, so I didn't buy any for a really long time. And I guess I'm kind of stingy. I hate spending my money, and I just didn't know where to start, I guess. And then my mom, she helped me out. She is really good with plants. I think she enjoys outdoor plants more personally, but don't quote me on that. But she helped me out, and she kind of pointed me in the right direction, and I was like, okay, awesome. And then conveniently enough, I went to a wedding where I was kind of the photographer at, and she was handing out free little plants, that was what they were doing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need this. So my mom got a plant, and it was a jade plant, and then I got a plant, and it was a polka dot plant. And I quickly learned that succulents aren't my jam, and I'm not very good at keeping them alive. So I have succulent fear. But then after that happened, so I had the polka dot plant, and then my mom let me take care of the jade plant, which quickly withered away and died, because I don't even know, either I watered it too much or didn't water it enough. I don't know. It was a shame. I felt very bad, but it was really pretty. But yeah, so I had that, and from there, I'm trying to think, what planting thing came next? I think, no, so it wasn't any of these plants that I had. None of these came next. But then it went on for a year. I had a Petra Crotian and my Mamie Crotian, which those are one of my first plants that I got, and it was such a mistake. I don't know why people sell them. They're oh, they appreciate high light and they like to be watered in blah blah blah. I'm no. So I had I had a Bush on Fire Crotian, which did well for a little while and then just died. But my Mamie Crotian was dying, but had one leaf left on it when I finally figured out how to take care of them. And my Petra Crotian, that one didn't do me wrong at all. But anyway, so my Mamie Crotian for the longest time just had one leaf. It was so funny, but I was so determined to keep it alive, and I did, and now it's putting out a lot of new leaves, and I'm very happy. So I like to think of myself as pretty much a potion expert, which is totally a joke because I recently got like, I think it was a banana potion, and quickly killed that one. So I have no idea what's going on, honestly, but you know, it's whatever. It's, you know, just so epic. But so I, from there, just grew my collection, and you know, it was like, you know, I wanted it to be where I had enough plants where if one of them was a slow grower, it was okay because I'd like be seeing new growth from other ones. And when I got my Marble Queen Pothos, I think that's when like I really was like, oh my gosh, okay, this is really cool. Because Pothos grows so fast. And when I got more into Pothos and Philodendron, even though they're not obviously like these rare plants, that's when I started really enjoying it because they just are so rewarding to have, and for the most part, they don't really do you wrong like a Crochin will. Like, yeah, Crochins grow reasonably quickly when given the right circumstances, but also they die really quickly if given the wrong circumstances. So, yeah, but anyway, after that, I just, like, it kind of took off for me, and it was like a really cool experience for me to have, especially since for the longest time, I genuinely did not like plants because in my brain, I was like, I can't take care of them, I'm gonna kill them, they're gonna die. So it was really cool to see that, yeah, some plants I just wasn't ready for, and unfortunately they passed, and you know, that's how the cookie crumbles. But for the most part, it's not like I'm spending a crazy amount of money on plants. So, like, if they die, it's not like the end of the world. I'm not like losing money. Like some people are paying like hundreds of thousands of dollars for like these really rare plants. When, look at this, a cute little Monstera Adansonii that I got for like $7. It already is growing so fast. Like, yeah, it doesn't have variegation, but oh no, like, I don't know. I honestly really appreciate the unvariegated plants as much as I appreciate the variegated plants. And though it would be very cool to get like a Monstera albo or something, I'm not gonna just jump and like need to have it, you know? Like, I'm very okay waiting patiently until they're affordable. But yes, so anyways, I definitely have changed my tastes a lot when it came to plants that I want, and that's okay. Some of the plants that I no longer ever want in my life would be Alocasia. I never want to see an Alocasia in my life ever again. I've had it up to here with them. And Calathea. There's only one Calathea that I want, and it's the one that has like those lines on their leaves that it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like really cool. I heard that one's not as fickle as the other ones, which is epic, because my rattlesnake Calathea, I tried keeping them alive twice, rattlesnake Calathea, and they just, you know, do fine until winter, because unfortunately I get migraines with high humidity, so because of that, I can't just have a humidifier in my house. Like, I sprayed it with water all the time in hopes that that would be enough. It was not enough. So, because of that, I quit Calathea. Succulents are kind of a no-go for me, but I kind of sound like a hypocrite because I totally have 2 succulents that I'm repotting, and I'm not sure if string of pearls are considered a succulent, but I totally am repotting those as well. And yeah, that's something. Oh geez. Let me think what else. I have oh, this is an interesting one actually. So when I first started out with plants, I hated Monstera. I hated like the Monstera genus so much. I hated like these holes, like it so bothered me. And then I went to Stein's one day and I got like a baby Monstera without knowing. I was just like, oh, a cute little plant with like big leaves. And then I saw that it was Monstera and I was like, Oh no, I totally went back on everything I said. I sounded like such a hypocrite, but honestly, they're so rewarding, and my Monstera has grown like so quickly, and that's why I actually separated it into different pots, because I was hoping that if its roots were established more, that it would grow a little faster. And then, yeah, I know, like, me separating it probably didn't help it at first, but I feel like now that it's actually established and like doing well, now that I put it in that big pot, it's gonna be doing so much better. So that's the goal here. I'm hoping that a little bit of like putting it through a tragedy will go in the future and help out my plant. Alright, so we emptied out the first bag, now onto the second bag. Oh yeah, ooh, this is nice. Okay. This says, that should be done, right? Yeah. Okay, we're good. But yeah, so that's the funny thing. I hated Monstera. And now I love Monstera. I want like all of the Monstera. And then same with Hoya. I used to be like kind of indifferent towards Hoya. I'm like, I don't see what's so crazy about him. And now I just like so want a Hoya Polynera. And I so want like a Hoya obovata. But the only place near me that sells Hoya sells them at like such an expensive price because they're such a big plant. Which, yeah, I know you're getting your money's worth and it's hard to kill most Hoyas. But I'm stingy, and also I want to watch them grow. I'm like the type of person where I'm very okay spending less money on a small plant that will eventually grow into a big plant. But at the same time, I found, oh, so this is a story that you guys will like to hear. I was at Stein's, and they had a mislabeled Monstera Adansonii that was like this big, like huge. And it was for sale for so dirt cheap. I think like around $12, $15. It was massive, but they mislabeled it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need that. Even though I had just recently got this little baby Monstera Adansonii, like I just, whew, I saw that plant, big Monstera Adansonii, I was like, okay, I need that in my life. I know I just got the small one, but this is like a rare opportunity. And I made such a mistake because this was when I still hated Monstera deliciosa. I went to a little nursery and they had a fully mature Monstera deliciosa for like $25. It was in a huge pot and its leaves were like this big, and I was like, you know, some people would kill to have a plant like that for that cheap, but not me, and I regret it every day. And I'm so disappointed because it was a mistake. There was a serious lapse in judgment when I did not make that purchase. But yeah, so that's a little funny thing about me, is now I'm over here loving Monstera, and I used to hate Monstera. They're like, I get the hype around them. At first I didn't get it. I was like, oh wow, you know, like splits in the leaves, so cool, wow. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so easy to keep alive, and they're so rewarding, and they grow so quickly, like what the heck? I totally get it now. I very much recommend Monstera. They're like super easy. They're like, I put them right up there with philodendron and pothos for easy to care for. They're that easy to care for in my opinion. Like, I don't do anything crazy for either of my Monstera. And so far, they have been doing well. I am scared about the big Monstera Adansonii that I got just because I can't do it dirty. I'm like, I got so lucky. That was like a once in a lifetime thing that happened, I think. I don't think it will happen again. And if I kill it, like, game over. So that's awesome. But it's been growing well. And so far it's alive. I am glad that I'm repotting my baby Monstera Adansonii though, just because its pot was way too small and it wasn't keeping water long enough and it just wasn't happy. My mom just saw me through a window. Hi, Mom. But anyway. Alright. I have this little hanging plant pot that I think I'm going to be putting my string of pearls in. So we'll see if we can plop her in there. I think it's pretty much the same size. You don't want to fondle with the roots. So come on, Dana, come on. There we go. Perfect. I know it's very dry, but I did that on purpose so it would make the repotting easier. Look at that. It's like it lived there the entire time. Perfect. And then I'll water it once I get it in my room. I don't want to water it now because those kind of are weird with the whole watering thing. But anyway, we're getting down there. I have 3 more plants that I need to repot. If you made it this far in the video, thank you. I really, really appreciate you and your support. But yeah, I just, as a human being, I'm definitely, you know, still figuring out who I am in the walk of life, which, you know, is okay. And I definitely have a lot of weird, quirky hobbies, but it's so weird because to me, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, if people find out about this, I'm gonna get so judged. Like with my YouTube, I showed some people who I'm close with my YouTube, and I'm like, they're gonna judge me, and they're like, oh my gosh, like that was so cool what you do with your dog and stuff. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Because in my brain, I'm like, they're just gonna think this is weird. They're not gonna, like, because, you know, I don't know. Maybe you don't know. You're watching my videos, so obviously you don't think it's weird, I think. Maybe I am weird, I don't know. But, like, even like with drawing, I'm like embarrassed to show people my drawings because I'm like, no, they're gonna hate it. They're gonna judge me. They're gonna think it's stupid. And then they're like, wow, Dana, that's really cool. I'm like, wait, for real? Like, you actually mean it? You don't think it's weird? What? Like, I don't know. Is anyone else like that? But, I don't know. I definitely need to keep animals in my life. I need to just keep hobbies in my life. And in all honesty, living in town is not for me. So if I could live not in town ever again, like, because we're moving to not town, we're moving we have land, and that's where we're moving, to 40 acres of land, which is like 40 acres of freedom in my opinion. I think if I could just continue living like outside of town, that would be very healthy for me because, like, I don't know, for me, living in town, it's like, I can't do what I want because there's always people. Like, I'm so paranoid to do anything with Gunner because, like, yeah, his recall is baller, but like, what if he just decides not to come back and then something happens? Or what if, like, I've had so many experiences where people leave their dogs off leash and then go after Gunner, and I'm like so glad that he's not dog aggressive because he's just kind of a stupid idiot. And he's just like, whoa, this dog is really excited to see me, when in reality they like want him dead. But I'm just like, I don't know. It just, I know I need to work on it, but training him is so much easier when I'm in control of all the scenarios. So like, yeah, obviously I'm still gonna have him around other dogs, but it's gonna be when I'm in control of the situation, you know? Not just whatever. Like, it's so hard to be prepared for things that are like pretty much unpreparable. Like, and that's another reason why I don't like my dog around kids, because kids are so unpredictable. You just never know, you know? Like, they're so fast, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, but you can't stop them, like, they're too quick. So if they go and pet your dog when your dog's like not looking and surprise your dog, it's like game over. So that's why, you know, it's different when I take Gunner to stores and I train him there, because I'm doing it because I want him to be surrounded by people. But when I'm just messing around with him in like the yard and just recording videos, like, I don't want to be surrounded by people because I'm recording a video, I have other things that I'm focusing on, and then surprise, a person Like, that's always my fear. And in town, people don't always respect property rules. So if you don't have a fence around your yard, there's always that chance that someone's just gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna go to my property through this person's property because it's faster than walking around on the sidewalk. Which is just, like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't bother most people, and most people is okay with it. Because, like, my neighborhood is, like, full of, like, closely knit people. But it bothers me. Because I'm like, no, this is our property, like, not yours, like, why are you, no, but I get it, I don't know, town is meant for some people, but not meant for me. I very much need the space of not living in town. And yeah, I'm gonna miss my house, even though it's like a smaller place and it's not like anything crazy. This is where I've lived my entire life, you know? Like, it's gonna be difficult leaving here. But it'll be a new adventure. I'm sure it'll all work out. Like I said, the main thing I'm looking forward to is being able to record videos easier. Because I'm in a new room, and that's because that way I know for a fact, hopefully, no background noise will really enter here, even though my mom totally, like, checked up on me. But, you know, that's okay. But, like, I feel bad because my room where I record most of the videos is right next to our living room, so whenever I record videos, if someone else is home, I'm like, hey, can you turn on the TV? I'm gonna record a video, because you can hear the TV in the background if, like, you don't turn it down, and I feel really bad. So that's why sometimes my videos are a little sparse, because I wait for a day where I'm home alone and then try to record, like, a bunch of videos one day. So then I don't affect anyone else by me recording videos. But once we move, that'll be less of a problem because we plan on having like 2 living rooms instead of 1. And where I'm gonna record videos will probably be in our 2nd living room. So because of that, there'll be less distractions for me. But anyway, that is all of my plants repotted, and if you made it this far in the video, I seriously really appreciate it, and I really hope you enjoyed the video. It means a lot to me. Like and subscribe, give me that good old thumbs up, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I really appreciate all of you guys watching my videos, and please subscribe, it would mean a lot to me. Especially since I went through the whole I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life thing. Help, please help. I'm just kidding. I'm sure everything will work out. But anyway, that is all for today. And I hope I can pump out some more new videos in the future and there won't be like this big gap in between. But yeah, that is all for me. And I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.